few weeks ago, it was the Autumn Equinox, and that is one of my favourite celebrations of the whole year. And this year, the Autumn Equinox for me was life-changing. It was a beautiful moment that marked the beginning of the rest of my life. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Autumn Equinox and celebrations I did to mark it this year. So a few weeks ago, autumn finally decided to grace us with its presence. The Autumn Equinox marks the first day of autumn. It is a day where light and dark are in complete harmony. There are 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night to create the equinox. And equinoxes, I think the spring and the autumn equinox, my favourite celebrations in the year, and I try and do a little bit more for them. This year was the most I've ever done for one. So on the autumn equinox this year, I got married. I had a pagan hand fasting celebration in the woods, and it was amazing, and it was beautiful, and it was everything I wanted and more. The symbolism of the autumn equinox was something that means a lot to me. It means a lot to us, and that was something that we really wanted to take forward, so that's why we chose that as the day for our hand fasting. The autumn equinox symbolises balance, harmony, the harvest, the abundance, gratitude, because it's the time of year when all that hard work of summer starts to melt into the food, the fruits, the real culmination of that labour. It's the time where you can really, quite literally, enjoy the fruits of your labour. It's the last big celebration, that feeling of gratitude, of abundance, of fullness, before that rest and introspection of winter really truly sets in. So that's what we wanted to take forward. It's a beautiful time of year, and it's just started here. It's definitely not in the full swing of it. I'm not ready to make full autumn content yet, although I'm really looking forward to that. But it's just started touching the ground, and some of the leaves are changing colour and the fruits have started to arrive. It's a beautiful time of year. That shedding of the old to make way for the rest and renewal that comes before spring hits is really transformative to me. And each year I find that my goals will shift in autumn, and it gives me all of winter to really contemplate how I'd like to move forwards, and then spring to start implementing. I find it as a time of, whether I'm consciously doing it or not, great change. And I really try and embody that in the season and in the practices. So getting married for me was the biggest change that I could possibly make. And it was amazing. I loved every minute of it. I might make another video on the hand fasting about what one is and how we celebrated. But I had so much fun. It was amazing. And all those values and qualities of the autumn equinox, I really feel like I've embodied and I'm taking forward. And I really love that. So after we got married on the equinox, we went away for a week, and it was lovely to spend some time together and to be away from the hustle and bustle of reality. We decided to implement practices to really celebrate the equinox while we were away, and our practices also embodied the 4 elements at the same time. That's something that matters a lot to me in my personal practice. I use a lot of elemental work. And while we were away, we did activities for all 4 of the elements. It really made me feel very, very whole. I felt very burnt out for the last few weeks. I was studying while trying to work and plan a wedding, and it was a lot. And my husband was working and studying and planning a wedding. We were both very busy and very tired. So this week was just a spiritual reset for us, and it was beautiful. So we went to the New Forest, So for my Americans out there, who I know you're watching, the New Forest is an amazing place in the UK. It's in the southwest of England. It's a beautiful national park here, and there are horses and deer and cows and all sorts of wildlife that just roam quite freely, and it's one of my favourite places. We've been there before and I was so excited to go again, and this is a place that really feels very spiritually grounding for me, and going back there it felt like a breath of fresh air. So what we did for our celebration of water and embodying that is we went to Glastonbury and we went to the Chalice Well. I love the Chalice Well. It's somewhere really special, and I don't know how else to describe it, but you really feel this powerful energy there. Something is so special about it, and it's a wonderful place to go. The Chalice Well Gardens, they are kind of nestled at the base between two hills. So you have Glastonbury Tor on one, which is very famous, and we'll hear about that in a minute, and the Chalice Hill, I think it is as well. And then the kind of like the well is kind of nestled in this little park that's between the two, and it's this beautiful meditative gardens. And they have a few bits that are completely silent and for quiet, sacred meditation. And that's by the well and in this little area that has this kind of sacred pool that you can walk through, and it's freezing. It's so cold, but it's so good for meditation. So you walk through this amazing freezing water. You really start to embody the element of water, and you really think about the lessons that you learn from water of endurance, of flow, of being able to be creative and fill a space, but very much adhering to your own values and your own worth. You follow your own path, you carve your own path. And what we did is we bathed our wedding rings in the water of the Chalice Well, so something that feels very significant to us, and meditated on the element of water and this beautiful kind of power that you can feel there. It's just a great experience. We've been there before, but there was something about it. I think maybe for the equinox, it felt amazing. The beautiful well that's actually there, I think the oldest stones of it has been dated back to the 12th century, and there's a lot of stories that come from the Chalice Well. The meditations we did there and the time we spent there bathing our rings in the well, and there's one part of the spring that you can actually drink from. So we anointed ourselves, we prayed a little bit, we were just embodying and meditating on the element, and it was beautiful. And that's how we celebrated the element of water within the equinox. The next element we celebrated was air. Still in Glastonbury. Right at the end of the day, when we had done everything we wanted to do, we walked up to the top of the Tor. The Tor is this massive hill, and it's amazing. It's a climb. It's a real climb. And at the top of it stands this beautiful old tower. And we sat on the top of this hill where you can see for miles and miles, and we watched the sunset. And as you're climbing, you can feel the air whooshing past you. You can feel its strength. You feel really part of it. You're so high up and you're so removed from everything. It really makes you feel like you're kind of one with the air. And this is where we meditated on the element of air a little bit, feeling its presence, its pressure, its beauty of how the air moves through you, how it creates a landscape, how we take it for granted, how much we need it, how much it helps the plants. It's the spirit of it. The spirit of air is, it's so hard. I find air so hard to describe. And I think this might be because I'm an earth sign, I'm a Taurus. So describing air, I can fully feel and appreciate its majesty, and I find it so hard to put words to. Because you're watching the sunset that high up and you're feeling really one with the air around you. You feel like you are part of the clouds, and you feel like if you let yourself, you could just start to float. That freedom that comes while meditating on the air and understanding how all of it and none of it matters all at once. Just being with it was amazing. And seeing the sunset was amazing. But that is how we celebrated air. Earth, we celebrated, I'd say, over a few days. And for us, that was practicing forest bathing. It's a practice of being fully present within the woods in its most simplistic form. And I'm an earth sign. I love being around earth. Earth practices I'm all about that. So we went for some really long walks without maps, without any form of guides, and just went where the ground kind of drove us to. Like, oh, there's a naturally forming stream here. How do we get over it? And you find these natural kind of crossings that have been created, and really just being present, not paying attention to where we're going, not paying attention to really how we're getting there. We just followed the natural movement of the landscape. And what Yeb did is he made little markers so that we could find our way back by putting a stick over a stone. It was really cute. But that's how we'd be like, okay, we know where we're going. Just exploring and being one in nature, and really feeling that gratitude for the thing that supports us, that gives us life, that holds us up, that we are all intrinsically a part of, and how we owe everything to it. It owes us nothing. The earth owes you absolutely nothing, but you owe it everything. Watching all the animals that are walking around, all of the creatures that have made their homes here, and feeling this natural rhythm and vibration in everything in the earth, and the solid oneness that you feel in all of it. It's an amazing feeling to know that you are part of something so much bigger than yourself. Finally, we celebrated fire. We did that when we got home, actually. After spending a few days kind of in different towns in the New Forest, we went to Burley twice, which is like a little witchcrafty kind of village where a kind of quite famous witch used to live. There's a whole thing. It's great. I'll put some like stories for it in the description below. It's a great little village. There's little witchcrafty shops. There's like activities to do there and everything. I like Burley. I like Burley a lot. After that, we decided to go home. And when we got home, we had so much to do. We had to like pack away stuff for the wedding. We had to unpack from the holiday. And Yev had the idea of, let's celebrate fire. Let's set some intentions. So he made a bonfire in the garden, just a little one. And we had dinner around it. And we toasted some marshmallows. And we made offerings to the fire. I offered incense, which is one of my favourite offerings to fire. I offered incense and a prayer, and we meditated on what it is to be fire. And for me, that's energy and that inner fire to actually work and get things done and achieve my goals. So we set some intentions as well, which involves us writing down on paper very, very clearly. And for me, this time I added also the steps I'm going to take to get there. Like, I'm going to do this. I want this, I want this, I want this. And giving offerings and trying to embody the spirit in achieving my goals, the inner creative and passionate and spiritual fire to achieve everything that I want to achieve, and folded all of that up and really sat with that and really sat with, this is what I'm doing. No one's going to stop me. I will make it happen. And that, just in that moment, before I'd even put it in that fire, I felt this really amazing wave of like self-belief and passion for everything I was doing. This desperate longing to not give up, even though I was so tired. I was still, well, I think I still am a little bit burnt out, but I've definitely recovered a lot. I felt really ready for the next chapter after that. And it was a really nice way to kind of close out the week, to all these celebrations we'd done, how we'd paid attention to every element and how we really had tried to embody that feeling of fire. We burnt our intentions, gave some more offerings, a silent meditation, a prayer of peace. And that felt like it had been closed. It felt like the week had been closed. And it was the most amazing celebration of the equinox. It was calming and inspiring. I felt so inspired by the end of it. And I still do, and I'm trying to carry that forward as much as possible. I just feel really ready for the next chapter. And I feel like that really was the celebrations from the equinox that we took part in. There are still a few things that I'm going to do here, like this is still my summer altar. I'm going to make this a autumn equinox altar. I've got a lot of tidying to do. Before I do a big cleanse, I do an actual clean. So I clean the space, get rid of things that I don't like vibe with anymore, then cleanse the space. So before I do that, I've still got quite a few things to do, but I really feel like the autumn equinox has been celebrated and I can start shedding everything that needs to be shed in preparation for the long rest that comes with winter. I feel great. Honestly, I feel great. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I know this one was a little bit rambly. I kind of just wanted to talk about the autumn equinox. It's one of my favourite things. I'm probably going to do, well, not probably, I'm going to do a lot more autumn stuff, and I will share that with you. I get so much pride from doing this, but I also get so much joy, and the community that we're building here is so sweet and supportive, and seeing all of your really cool ideas and seeing when something sparks a aha kind of moment is great, and I love all of your comments. I'm slowly getting through and replying to stuff. I didn't have much internet while I was away, so I couldn't reply to everything, but I have seen them and I am replying. I'm getting through them, so please keep commenting. I love hearing from you. Please let me know what you've done for your autumn equinox. I would love to hear any particular celebrations you and your loved ones have. Anything that you like to embody would be great. So as the usual, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Shannon, I'm the Wisdom Wench. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you feel called to, please share this video. It really does help. And I will see you in the next one, and hopefully I'll see you all guys soon. Bye. Southwest-ish of England, and guys, I'm married now.